We begin in Oakville tonight, where a driver died after a wheel came off a boat trailer.
Yeah, it happened on the QEW this morning. Eric Vienneau is live in Oakville this hour to tell us more. Good evening, Eric.
That's right. It happened at around 11:20 this morning on the QEW Toronto bound approaching Winston Churchill Boulevard. Now, police say that a pickup truck heading westbound was carrying a large boat trailer when one of the trailer's tires came off. The tire bounced into the eastbound lanes and hit a car, killing the 77-year-old driver inside. A 77-year-old woman in the passenger seat survived unharmed and managed to safely pull the vehicle over. But the tire continued bouncing down the highway and hit two other vehicles. In that instance, police say damage was minor and no one was hurt. The tire was found on the side of the highway, but police say the truck and trailer involved were later found at a marina after several tips from witnesses. The eastbound lanes were closed at Ford Drive for most of the day, but they reopened at 4 this afternoon. Back inside to you, Taz.
On December 6, 1989, a man motivated by hatred of feminists shot and killed 14 female students and injured 13 more at the École Polytechnique in Montreal. Today, Canada observes the tragedy with National Day of Remembrance and Action on Violence Against Women. Eric Vienneau joins us live with more. Eric?
Yeah, that's right. It has been 33 years since the massacre, and Canadians across the country, as well as here in Hamilton, are using the day as a call to action. In 1989, Marc Lépine killed 14 women at École Polytechnique before he turned the gun on himself. 2 years later, in 1991, the anniversary of the mass shooting was proclaimed National Day of Remembrance and Action on Violence Against Women.
It reminds us that they should be talked about, and it's something that we should continue to talk about.
Of the 14 women killed back in 1989, 12 of them were engineering students. McMaster's engineering faculty released a video today to remember the lives lost.
These women could have been our professors, teachers, mentors, and our industry leaders, but they're no longer with us today.
Personally, my mom's an engineer, and it was in 1989, which is the year that she graduated. And I think that a lot of our professors were studying at that time. I don't think it's that long of a time ago, and it's still something that's really relevant to students that are studying now.
Local organizations holding commemoration ceremonies today say the day also recognizes violence against women and girls happening now.
52 women were killed in Ontario by femicide in the past year, and that number is dramatically increasing over the past few years. It has not been decreasing.
The director of SACHA, Hamilton and Area Sexual Assault Center, says people can help women and girls experiencing violence by believing them.
Listen to that woman, listen to that individual, know that they are the experts in their lives, and take their lead. Let them know that you are there to support them. Let them know that you're there to do what they need to be done.
The day is also being recognized as a day to commemorate missing and murdered Indigenous women and children.
Colonial violence still happens against Indigenous women, girls, trans, two-spirit people in Canada. We know what this grief feels like. We know that this grief lasts a very long time. So we're here to share and remember our relatives who lost their lives in Montreal.
Now, everyone I spoke to today stressed the importance of continuing to remember this tragedy, and more is being done, like a ceremony I'm at right now here in Hamilton.
Returning to one of our top stories, it's been 33 years since the mass shooting at École Polytechnique in Montreal, and events are being held across the country to remember the 14 women killed and 13 others who were injured. Eric Vienneau is at a remembrance event hosted by the Hamilton District Labour Council and joins us live with more. Eric?
That's right. They're just about to get started right behind me here. Now, this is just one of many ceremonies happening across the country. This one is being put on by the Hamilton District Labour Council and the Women's Equity Work Group. The ceremony will feature speakers from Sex Workers Action Program Hamilton, as well as the YWCA, to talk about issues regarding violence against women today. Now, as you can see at the front are the portraits of the 14 women murdered at Polytechnique in 1989. Later on, there will be a moment of silence and a candle lighting ceremony to remember the lives of those 14 women. And a 15th candle is being added to that 14. That one is going to represent Indigenous women and girls. Back inside to you.
8-year-old Mitch Roberts was born with an undiagnosed rare genetic disorder.
The idea of him taking steps wasn't necessarily ever going to be on his horizon or ours.
That was until Mitch's father, Mark, discovered a life-changing robotic leg device called Trexo, made by Trexo Robotics based in Mississauga.
I was flipping around on Facebook one day and I saw a video of a kiddo walking in one of these devices, and my jaw basically bounced off the keyboard. So I put my son in the car that day and we drove over and we were able to try one out, and basically I never looked back.
After raising $40,000 in a matter of days through GoFundMe, Mitch got his Trexo.
Mark and Kelly say they would not have been able to provide the robotic legs for Mitch if it weren't for the generosity of the community.
Humbling is the first reaction that we had. We were kind of blown away. We thought we might get enough to help us along the way. We didn't anticipate the outpouring.
It's special in a way that is hard to describe, to be perfectly honest with you. Like, all the people that you really wish would step up in your corner, step up in a way that you weren't anticipating.
With the help of his robotic legs, Mitch completed his first triathlon this summer. And today, he reached another goal, 1 million steps.
It's a really epic, momentous thing for him. This is a milestone on the way to basically just a different trajectory of what his life was going to look like. And we've already seen some amazing improvements in him, and I'm really kind of curious to see what lays ahead.
The community that helped Mitch get his Trexo came out to show support. The design team was also there to witness the first child in their community to reach this milestone.
You know, it's the kind of thing that as an engineer you dream of, where you design something that has such a broad and deep impact in the lives of people. So seeing Mitch take his 1 million steps really resonated and really, validated what we're doing, and it just felt amazing.
1 million steps in the books, and even more to come. Eric Vienneau, CHCH News, Milton.
Hockey, fresh off last night's 5-4 overtime win over the Ottawa Senators, the Toronto Maple Leafs will entertain the New York Islanders tonight at Scotiabank Arena. The Leafs have won 2 straight games in 9 of their last 11. The Islanders, meanwhile, are 7-3 over their past 10 games. Last night, the Leafs clinched a victory over the Sens after the game went into overtime. Here's what the players had to say afterwards. The Toronto Rock made yet another statement here in Hamilton yesterday, this one against their likeliest playoff opponent. The Rock locked up a second place of a home playoff game in the National Lacrosse League East Division with a dominant 15-7 win over the Halifax Thunderbirds. It was a complete performance on both sides of the floor for the Rock. Toronto's defense was stellar, with goaltender Nick Rose making 47 saves, including 2 early showstoppers that really set the tone. Both Dan Gregg and Tom Schreiber led the way with 4 goals and 5 assists.
A new university will be built in downtown Niagara Falls. As Eric Vienneau reports, it could bring some much-needed business to the area.
I'm pleased to be here in Niagara Falls today for the launch of the new University of Niagara Falls, Canada.
The announcement was made in front of a crowd at the Hatch Building on Queen Street this morning by Ontario's Minister of Colleges and Universities, along with Niagara Falls Mayor Jim Diodati.
It's going to be massive. This is going to be the catalyst that's going to change everything. Let's make it happen.
Diodati says he's been pushing for a downtown university for years.
So many times we were told no, or not now, or bad timing, or not with us. And finally, I was turned down so many times. When Gus actually said, yes, we're interested, I thought, did you just say yes? I wasn't ready for it.
Gus, or Global University Systems, is the private company that is backing the project. It has institutions around the world with over 80,000 students attending their facilities.
So once we met the mayor and the economic development, the energy here was so exciting, and the community so welcoming. We thought it would be an amazing place to actually set up a second university campus in Canada.
Well, from what I understand, it has been a long time coming, and I know the mayor and council have really championed this idea, as well as the community.
The university will be initially operated out of rented space at the Hatch Building. That's until a new facility and residences are built in the area. Businesses in the area tell me the news is a long time coming.
I moved down here 5 years ago, and I heard it was coming then, but it will be welcome news. It is welcome news to anybody on the street to help us revitalize this downtown area that has so much potential.
Potential that was diminished due to the pandemic. Business owners say they hope an influx of students will help with recovery.
It needs people. The tourists have been coming back. We've had 2 years of COVID. We've only been here 3 years. And so I really believe that if we have young people here, it might help.
There's not a lot of love given to this part of town. You know, everything's always pushed down at that end. So it's great for the street, it's going to be great for the businesses, and it's what we need, and we've been waiting a long time for it.
The university will offer 5 programs focusing on emerging technology, data analytics, business, and digital media. It is expected to welcome students in 2024, following approval from the provincial government. Eric Vienneau, CHCH News, Niagara.
Today, fans of The Incredible Hulk had a chance to meet the man who played the superhero first. Eric Vienneau has the story.
Hulk. Smash.
Before Mark Ruffalo took on the role of the Green Monster in 2012's Avengers, before Edward Norton took on the role in 2008, and even before Eric Bana had his turn in 2003, there was Lou Ferrigno. He took on the role of the Incredible Hulk in a 1977 TV series.
Every one of us has a little Hulk inside of us, and we have all these demons of anger, so when you see the Hulk, he releases that for us.
The show followed Dr. David Banner, played by the late Bill Bixby, after an accidental overdose of gamma radiation altered his body chemistry. When he grew angry, that's when Lou would step in and become the Hulk.
The things that we want to do that we can't do, the Hulk does it for us.
Today, the actor and retired bodybuilder was at Icon Autographs in Niagara Falls to meet fans of the classic show.
Oh, I love watching his movies, and great guy.
I'm a big Marvel fan of the Avengers. He's a pretty good actor.
I got his autograph, so this goes on my wall of fame.
The series ran until 1982. It was Marvel's first successful TV adaptation.
Well, I took a big chance because I retired from competition to the series. And when the series took off, I mean, it gave me a chance to do over 100 films, 5 TV series. But the fact that I had a chance to visit every country in the world, I was amazed how much every country embraced the character of the Hulk. It's beautiful, fantastic.
Along with his role as the Incredible Hulk, Ferrigno was the youngest, only 2-time consecutive and Guinness World Record holder for the International Federation of Bodybuilding and Fitness Mr. Universe title. In Niagara Falls, he earned another title. In 2020, he was made an honorary firefighter in recognition of his anti-bullying advocacy work.
If anybody's being bullied, they should talk to someone, talk to a police officer, talk to someone that you can trust, because sometimes bullying happens online. It could be a relative, it could be in the street, anywhere. When I was a kid, I got bullied and I got beaten up, and I go to the gym now and say I'm glad my passion bodybuilding, because now the fact that it's been a very rewarding experience for me.
Just this week, a new Hulk came to the big screen. She-Hulk, Attorney at Law, the first time Marvel has brought the Hulk character to the screen with a female actor.
It's fun because I think the girl who plays She-Hulk, she's a wonderful actress. And then hoping the fans will like it, because it all started with me when I began the Hulk. At the time when I did the pilot, Captain America, Spider-Man, the series failed. So my show was successful to open all the doors what you see today, like 40-some years ago.
I was personally curious to find out how exactly Lou was able to achieve that Hulk figure, because clearly, I need the advice.
It's all about consistency. I've been training now for 50, 80 years. It's all about eating good, sleeping good, and training good. Very simple. Combine your mind and body together. It's very important, because we only live one, and you only have one body, one mind, and it's important to be very positive and enjoy positive living.
The 70-year-old star isn't slowing down just yet. He's currently filming his first horror movie, The Hermit, in Syracuse, New York. Eric Vienneau, CHCH News.